2 straight wins to lock up the division for back-to-back season. Should the Eagles fans be excited about this? Ryan, talk to me.
Yeah, we should be excited, Tyrone. There's been way too much complaining. All right, it's the holiday season, and we need to get some positivity in our lives. All right, heading into the new year, maybe this can be the same old birds. Listen, here's the problem. Let me just try and talk this out and give some perspective to the people out there listening and tuning in. Last season was an anomaly. Okay, the
Yeah.
Eagles ran through every team by 30 points, it felt like, on their way to a Super Bowl victory, defeating Mahomes and the Chiefs in the most in the craziest fashion that you couldn't even write that up, right? So this season I think there was going to be a letdown regardless because you can't really repeat that movie-like season that we had last year. Listen, we already captured the NFC East title already with 2 games left to play. At worst, they're going to be a top 3 team in the NFC. There's been ups and downs, but I think there's a lot of reasons for hope heading into this huge matchup Sunday.
It's Jake Elliott. Is this a problem with his struggles, and how much of it is a problem if this is actually a situation here?
Yeah, I feel like Jake Elliott is a lot like my previous rant and answer, which has
Yeah.
he's been a roller coaster ride, right? And the reality of it is there's been a lot more downs than there has been ups when it comes to Jake Elliott. So far this season, he has a career low field goal percentage at 70.8. We can call that 71%, right?
Yeah.
But last season, I remember a similar narrative. His production and his field goal percentage was at 78, which was an all-time low for him. Last year, we were talking about, man, is Jake Elliott reliable heading into the postseason? Yada, yada, yada. And what did Jake Elliott do last year in the clutch, a.k.a. the postseason? He went 10 for 11 from field goals, and he was a perfect 4 for 4 in the big game in the Super Bowl. So, yes, Jake Elliott, I get it out there. If you're like, this guy stinks, I don't trust him, understandably so. He shanked 2 big ones last week. But I trust this guy. I'm hanging on to a little bit more trust, Tyrone. I think he's going to come in clutch when it matters the most.
Saquon Barkley had a big game last Sunday. Do you see him building off of that performance going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I do. I think this is Saquon time right now as we're wrapping up the month of December. Listen, let's just call it what it was. Saquon stunk in the first 3 months of the season. He was bad. Once again, hard to copy and paste that historic season that he had. Also, the injuries up front on the offensive line, they've been a huge factor when it comes to Saquon's lack of production so far this season. Month of December, Saquon has turned it on, and you almost don't even realize it. Saquon is second in the NFL in overall rushing yards with 332. He's first in the NFL with rushes of 10 yards or more. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry in the month of December. So it's Saquon time, and I expect him to turn it on as we get closer and closer to the postseason.
And even with some keys to the Eagles winning this one.
Yeah, we just talked about the Saquon Barkley rushing attack for our side of the fence. Well, on the Bills side of the fence, I know Josh Allen is going to get all of the love, all of the attention. The cameras are always on him. But it's James Cook, the running back for the Buffalo Bills. He's leading the entire National Football League in rushing yards right now. He's on pace and on track to end up with the Offensive Player of the Year award, the award that Saquon Barkley captured just last season. So this matchup is featuring, yes, it's Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts. Who would you rather have, right? We all love to have that debate that no one knows the answer to. I take Jalen Hurts, but I'm probably a little bit biased. But it's really about James Cook and Saquon Barkley. If the Eagles defense can slow down Cook and not let him cook, then you can pin your ears back and get to Josh Allen. So I think that's where it really starts and ends with the Eagles on the defensive side of the ball. And then on offense, real quick, it's about getting Saquon going. And how about Jalen Hurts rushing the ball, man? When Jalen Hurts is able to tote the rock and he's able to get into the end zone, that's when the Eagles typically have success. So that's what I'm looking for.